Welcome, Shokun and Ojo-chan. My name is Chapman. I'm your anchor for tonight Misty News on Channel 8. Tonight, the world is torn asunder as a reveal has been made. The anime Shaman King is getting a reboot. That's right, it first came out in 2001, 2002, and now, almost 20 years later, we're finally gonna get another shot at it. The anime originally aired while the manga was also ongoing. That means it didn't never get a canon ending, so we might have a shot at it this time. But that's not all. Of course, if you've been sleeping under a rock, you might be aware that Re:Zero is getting a Season 2. It is coming to you this July 8th. It's right next door, so you can expect some great things coming from that. It has been done by White Fox Studio, so you can rest in ease that whatever they're gonna do is gonna be fantastic. Speaking of anime that's coming this summer, we have to talk about Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out. It is a brand new title. It's gonna be 12 episodes long about a girl that's just your happy-go-lucky, upbeat type of girl who just nags her senpai relentlessly. It is going to be a comedy. I feel like it has some similar spirit to Takagi-san or the synergy in the characters had in High Score Girls. If this is your beat, you might have a good time with this one. Unfortunately, while people still try to recover from last week's news about the Cowboy Bebop live action, I must give you a second blow. That's right, another live action coming for you. This one, The Promised Neverland. Yikes. Children actors, am I right? These can be a really tough pill to swallow. But it will be done by Amazon, so I don't know. They may have a shot at it. We'll find out. You and me both together. We're gonna see where it goes. Now, if you thought it couldn't get worse than this, let me add another rock to this pile. That's right, let me introduce you to Murphy's Law. You think one thing is bad? How about two of them? Another live action. You know the game Monster Hunter? That's right, it is gonna get a live action made by Hollywood themselves. It is gonna feature Milla Jovovich, which you may be familiar with her other works in the Resident Evil movies that she has made in the past. Now she will take the role of Lieutenant Artemis from the game. We have no expectation for it, but it is set to air this upcoming September. Some pictures have been leaked. You can look at them if you're interested. We're gonna see where that one goes. You may be familiar with the famous manga Uzumaki, not the Naruto one, no, the one done by Junji Ito. It is getting an anime. This is old news, you may be already aware of it, but you should probably look into the brand new storyboard that has been leaked if you're interested in the story. I use the term leak, but I mean, they've done it purposefully. It's not an accident, it's not a mole, everything's under control. They have released some storyboarding, so if you're interested and you want to have a glimpse of what's to be expected, you can have a look at that one. And now for our weekly segment with our local weather girl, Fimbulvetr Merriweather. Fimi, what do you have in store for us this week?
Oh my god, stop calling me that on the air.
I will not. I like your dress, Fimi. It's very whore fashion from the 1960s.
Thanks, Chip. I like your suit. Brings the rapist out of your eyes. So this week, we have a lot of wind coming our way. That's right, several gusts that is gonna hit the world globally as the Promised Neverland is announced to get an English dub. I believe it's gonna be done by Funimation, so that's gonna be a really good thing. Also, don't you worry, my fellow king, because the weather, the temperature, it's about to go way, way up. It's gonna hit the 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And you know what that means? That's right, the July 2020 posters are getting released and they are quite spicy. So I hope you brought a lot of cream. Sunscreen, that's right, that's what I meant. Now back to you in studio.
And now it's time for a manga segment. Thank you, Fimi. Now let me tell you about last week. We mentioned that Cells at Work was getting 4 spin-offs, one of which was Cells at Work Baby. Well, would you be surprised if I told you it has gone on hiatus? It has. Maybe don't pick 4 horses at once. Just an anchor's opinion. I must also bring to your attention the manga called Carol and Tuesday. It got an anime recently, but the manga is featured to be shutting down in July. Who knows if it has to do with the fact that a manga about music on a medium that doesn't allow you to listen to the music kind of hinder it a little bit. You can only wonder about those things. And lastly, we have some bit of uplifting news. The Fairy Tail 2.0, that's right, I'm talking about Eden Zero, is gonna get an anime adaptation. You must wonder, yes, how much more does Hiro Mashima has to tell you about friendship? We bet he has to exhaust the topic at some point. But we will have it on the big screen to experience it for all the little boys and girls out there. And now we go to sports with our best man on the case, Colt Fletcher. Colt, what's hyped this week?
Baki!
You care to elaborate for us?
It's getting a season 2.
When does it come out?
July 6th.
Thank you, Colt. A man of a few words, but very powerful ones at that. You can only respect that kind of attitude here at Misty News. Now, for the gaming department, Steam has revealed 2 very awaited titles to get finally ports. That's right, we're talking about Atlas Persona 4 Golden Edition. That is getting a port on the Steam platform, on the PC. It's the first time, it's never been seen before for the Persona franchise. You can expect some absolute tremendous cool things out of it. In terms of adaptation, in terms of port, it is nearly flawless. In terms of contents, it's exactly as you would expect it. And also another one that's hitting the Steam port is the 2012 acclaimed title, Journey. If you've never had the chance to experience that one and you like atmospheric titles, Journey might be the one for you. Of course, this all pales in comparison with the PS5 announcement that we got last week. Several titles have been announced for the new console. No price have been revealed. Now, the titles that have been announced, you have some great hitters. One of which that I'm very excited for, Demon's Souls getting a remake. That's gonna be very interesting for me. Also, other titles include Spider-Man Miles Morales, which seems to be a continuation of the first game on PS4 that came out a few years ago, and not an actual sequel to it, which I assume they're working on. There's other titles such as Ratchet & Clank, Kenna that looks beautiful, Stray that simply looks great, and Resident Evil, Hero Zero Dawn 2, all of which you can look into more details if you want to know more about it in the comment section below. On the indie side, Clay Studio has revealed a brand new game that has just launched called Griftlands. If you're into deck builders and roguelike, you should probably pay attention to this one. It feels a lot like Slay the Spire meet Mass Effects, very heavy on the story building. I think I've had the chance to experience it. It's not being sponsored, obviously. We're not below that here at Misty News, but we will absolutely tell you when we are sponsored. This is not the case. Just a fun game that I tried, and I figured I would mention it to you guys. Now, if you're not much of a player, but more of a developer, you could probably put your interest into RPG Maker. The last one that came out was a few years ago, RPG Maker MV. Now they are going to launch a brand new engine, RPG Maker MZ. It's gonna have all the features that you enjoyed and appreciated on the first one, except they're being streamlined, overworked, everything put simpler for newcomers who want to get invested in the concept of creating your own RPG without requiring several levels of programming. Of course, if you do have those levels, it also helps a lot. A long-awaited title, Phantasy Star Online 2 has been launched, although we use that term very loosely. It has been a travesty to say the least, of a launch. The game, which has hit both the Microsoft Xbox and also the Microsoft Store. The Xbox One, flawless. No complaints here. If you have an Xbox and you like Phantasy Star as a franchise, the game has no problem. It's not there where lies the issue. The problem lies in the Microsoft Store. the installation is abysmal. It's purely just troublesome, to the point where some fans of the titles have created a tweaker to just simplify the process, and even then it is a headache and a half. We do not recommend to use the Microsoft Store. Has a bunch of restrictions, a chaos of troubles. Just stay away from it. Wait for the Steam port that has been announced, or the PlayStation 1. If you're a gamer on console, you may have a better time with this. In the mobile department, we have some news regarding Arknights, a game that has been hitting the scene quite hard and quite well. It has become almost a #1 title about tower defense in very hot girls. Now, it is currently having an event called the Contingency Contracts, which makes the game a little bit tougher for people that have been in it for a while, and also it gives the chance to newcomers to experience a different take on it. We highly recommend that game if you're into it. If not, then you can have a look at Exos Heroes. It is another title that has just launched, so if you want to hit it while the iron is hot, we highly recommend that one too. It has stunning visuals. However, we recommend booting the game and getting yourself a cup of coffee or something, because of the high quality of the game, it takes a little bit of time to get it running. But if that's not on your issue, then you can expect some great things for that one. Now we get the chance to go on the field with our live reporter, Atlas Atkins. Atlas, what is interesting for us this week? Do you have something to tell us?
Yes, Chip, that is correct. I am currently standing in Traisen itself to tell you more about Uma Musume, the brand new spin-off. It is coming July 7th. It is going to be called Umayan. I tried earlier to get a comment from our girl, Special Week. Unfortunately, I was denied because they are currently training and also sleeping. So they couldn't spend some time with me, alas. But at the very least, you can expect some great things coming for you this summer, July 7th. This has been Atlas Atkins for Channel 8 Misty News.
Thank you, Atlas. Now, if you're listening to podcasts, you may be interested in a brand new one that just launched called Trash Taste. It has been hosted by CDog VA, The Anime Man, and Gigik. They're doing an anime team podcast where they hang out together and talk about various topics, mostly anime related. If not, then you can also have a listen to Rant Cafe. They've been going on for quite a while, and they always have some very interesting topics to cover. And finally, we must wrap up on a very heart-wrenching story about earning disparities. In Japan, it is not a surprise to know that workers that work on creating anime are severely underpaid. And today we had the chance to see some graphics about the earnings disparities that is going with the industry. So if you can support it in any way, it is very tragic, and knowing that some people work so hard for so very little income. It also makes it very hard to rival when it comes time to Western companies trying to set a foot in the anime industry, because this is just shy of slavery, to be frank, and we wish we could do anything about it. Unfortunately, it has been ingrained in the culture. It's tragic, but it is the way things are done. Hopefully we can do something together and make their earnings slightly better. One can only dream. If you've enjoyed our broadcast, please consider pledging to the Patreon to support Channel 8, or you can always use the join button next to the subscribe one, or both if you feel fancy. Because otherwise, we're gonna have to cut some cast members, and I mean, it can't be me because I'm the host, and I really like Colt, because Colt and I go golfing sometimes, and we have just a blast. And Atlas just started. Now, I guess we could cut Fimi, but I mean, people kind of like her too. I'm not too sure.
Go fuck yourself, Chip.
Fuck me yourself, you fucking coward!
I've been through the hard times, I've been on the wrong side, I've been ashamed. So many memories, you know I'd like to change.